Once upon a time, in a faraway country, there lived a mother who had two daughters. One was her own child, the other was her stepdaughter. She was very fond of her own daughter, but she hated her stepdaughter. The only reason was that Mrokla, the stepdaughter, was prettier than her own daughter, Helena. The gentle-hearted Mrokla did not know how beautiful she was, and so she could never make out why her mother was always so cross with her. Mrokla had to do all the housework, tidying up the cottage, cooking, washing, spinning, weaving, and sewing. She liked work, and she did it all without a word of complaint, while Helena spent the time adorning herself and lazing about. Even then Helena and her mother scolded and rated and abused Mrokla every day. They envied her so much that one day they decided to throw her out in the freezing cold to get rid of her. Go, Mrokla, and get me some pollen from the forest. I want to wear them and smell them, said Helena. But my dear sister, it is impossible to find pollen in the snow, said poor Mrokla. How dare you argue when I tell you to do something? Off you go at once, and if you don't bring me bullets from the forest, I will kill you, said Helena, threateningly. The stepdaughter catch hold of Mrokla, turn her out of the door, and slam it to after her. Mrokla went into the forest weeping bitterly. The snow lay deep, and there was not human footprint to be seen. Mrokla wandered about for a long time, tortured by hunger and trembling with cold. At last, she saw a light in the distance. She went toward the glow, which came from the top of the mountain. A big fire was burning there, and round the fire were 12 stones with 12 men sitting on them. 3 of them had snow-white beard, 3 were not so old, and 3 were still younger. The 3 youngest were handsomest of them all. They were not speaking, but all sitting silent. These 12 men were the 12th month. Great January sat highest of all. His hair and beard were as white as snow, and in his hand he held a glove. Mrokla was frightened. She stood still for a time in terror, but growing bolder, she went up to them and said, Please, kind sir, let me warm my hands at your fire. Great January nodded and asked her, Why have you come here? My dear little girl, what are you looking for? I am looking for Violet, answered Mrokla. This is no time to be looking for Violet, for everything is covered with snow, answered Great January. Yes, I know, but my sister Helena and my stepmother said that I must bring them some Violet from the forest. If I don't bring them, they will kill me. Tell me, father, please tell me where I can find them. Great January stood off and went to one of the younger months. It was March, and giving him the club, he said, Brother, take the high seat. March to the high seat upon the stone, and wave the club over the fire. The fire blazed up. The snow began to melt. The trees began to bud, and the ground was at once covered with grass. It was springtime. The violet began to bloom among their little leaves. And before Mrokla had time to think, So many of them had sprung up that they looked like a blue cloud spread out on the ground. Now pick them quickly, Mrokla, commanded March. Mrokla picked them joyfully till she had a big bunch. Then she thanked the month with all her heart and scrambled merrily home. Helena and the stepmother wondered when they saw Mrokla bringing the bullet. They opened the door to her, and the scent of bullet filled all the cottage. "Where did you get them?" asked Helena sluggily. "They are growing under the bushes in a forest on the high mountain." Helena snatched all the flowers and did not give even a single one to her sister. The next day, she called to her sister and said, "Go, Mrokla, and get me some strawberry from the forest." "Alas, dear sister, where could I find any strawberry in this hard winter?" said Mrokla. "How dare you argue? Go at once and get me the strawberry, or I will kill you." The stepmother catched hold of Mrokla and pushed her out of the door and shut it after her. Mrokla went to the forest weeping bitterly. The snow was lying deep, and there was not a human footprint to be seen anywhere. She wandered about for a long time, tortured by hunger and trembling with cold. At last she saw a light she had seen the other day. Overjoyed, she went toward it. She came to the great fire with the 12 months sitting round it. "Please, kind sir, let me warm my hand at the fire." Great January nodded and asked her, "Why have you come again? And what are you looking for here?" "I am looking for strawberries. My sister Helena and my stepmother bade me bring some strawberries. And if I don't, they will kill me. Tell me, father, tell me. Please, where can I find them?" Great January arose. He went over the month sitting opposite to him. It was June, and handed the club to him, saying, "Brother, take the high seat." June took the high seat upon the stone and swung the club over the fire. The fire stood up, and it melted the snow in a moment. The ground was all green. The trees were covered with leaves. The birds began to sing, and the forest was filled with all kinds of flowers. It was summer. The ground under the bushes was covered with white starlets. The cherry blossoms were turning into the strawberries every minute. They ripened at once, and before Mrokla had time to think, there were so many of them that it looked as though a red carpet had been spread on the ground. "Pick them at once, Mrokla," commanded June. Mrokla picked them joyfully till she had filled her apron full. Then she thanked the month with all her heart and scampered merrily home. Helena and the stepmother wondered when they saw Mrokla bringing the strawberries. Her apron was full of them. "Where did you pick them?" asked Helena sluggily. "There was plenty of them growing in the forest on the high mountains." Helena took all the strawberries and ate them all up with her mother. They did not leave even a single one for Mrokla. On third day, Helena ordered Mrokla, "Go into the forest and get me some red apples." The stepmother catch hold of Mrokla and without giving her a chance to speak, pushed her out of the door and shut it after her. Mrokla went to the forest again, weeping bitterly. But she did not wonder about this time. She ran straight to the top of the mountain where the big fire was burning, and 12 months were sitting round the fire. Please, kind sir, help me. Great January nodded and asked her, What are you looking for today? Great January nodded and asked her, What are you looking for today? I am looking for red apples. If I don't bring them, my sister and my mother will kill me. Tell me, father, tell me, please, where I could find them. Great January rose up. He went over to one of the older months. It was September. He handed the club to him and said, Brother, take the high seat. Month September took the high seat upon the stone and swung the club over the fire. The fire began to burn with a red flame. The snow began to melt, but there was a cold wind that sent the faded leaves down to the ground. It was autumn. Mrokla saw just one apple tree with red apples hanging high among its branches. Shake the tree at once, Mrokla commanded September. Right gladly, Mrokla shook the tree, and first one apple fell down, and then another. Now, Mrokla, that's enough. Run home quickly, shouted the months. Mrokla obeyed at once. She picked up the apples, thanked the month with all her heart, and ran merrily home. Helena and the stepmother wondered when they saw Mrokla bringing the 2 apples. Where did you get them? Asked Helena. I found them in the forest on the high mountain. And why did not you bring more? Or did you eat them on the way home? Said Helena harshly. Alas, sister dear, I have not even tasted them. I saw the tree twist. 2 apples fell down, and they would not let me shake the tree again. They shouted to me to go straight home, protested Mrokla. May you be struck to death by lightning, said the wicked Helena, and began to eat the apple. It tasted so delicious that she told her mother she had never tasted anything so nice in all her life. The stepmother liked it too. When they had finished, they wanted some more. Mother, give me my fur coat. Let's go to the forest ourselves and get the apples. The rag little wretch would eat them all up again on her way home. We will find the place all right, and I will shake them all down, however they shouted at me. Her mother agreed readily. They wrapped themselves in fur coat and shawl, and off they went to the forest. The snow lay deep, and they wandered about for a long time. But at last, they saw the top of the mountain, where the big fire was burning, and the 12 months were sitting. They stepped up the fire and stretched out their hand to warm them, without asking permission or speak one polite word. Why have you come here, and what are you looking for? Asked Great January crossly. Why do you want to know, you old fool? Replied Helena angrily. It's no business of yours, said her mother. Great January frowned and swung the club over his head. The sky grew dark in the moment. The fire burned low. The snow began to fall thick, and an ice wind began to blow through the forest. Helena and her mother could not see one step in front of them. They tried to find their way out, but the snow fell in huge masses, and soon they were lost in it. At home, Mrokla waited and waited, and yet Helena and her mother did not come back. When she went to search for them, she found neither her mother and sister, not 12 months in the forest. At last, she returns home sadly. So Gudmurkla inherited the cottage and the land around it. She married a kind husband, and they both lived happily ever after.